Now, today's video, we're going to be doing the continuation of the list part in Business Central. As you can see, this is where we stopped in the last video. We looked at how we can create a subform and also the necessary fields to create. So today I'm going to be doing a quite different thing today. I'm going to be changing the scenario of the application so we can have a proper ground in creating a document like this. So before I get started, if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe, like this video, and share as much as you can. So I'm going to be changing the idea of this application. So what we'll be working on today is we are going to be looking at creating what we call an exam application. So within this exam application, we are going to be creating various types of exam. We can have exams like multiple choice, essay, oral exam, and the rest. We can make this an application that registers a new user for exam. We can get data like the registration number, the first name, the last name, the sex, age, course, and phone number. We can just get some personal information. We can also on the line get the subject the particular user will be doing. So if you can see this, I have changed some folders in this application. You can see I now have enum, I have list parts, I have list page, I also have my page extensions and the table extensions. So I want to change I want to start the change from the table. I want to start by changing the name of this table to, let's say, exam registration. Okay, so inside this exam registration, we're still going to be using this same field, but we're just going to be adding some other fields. And we're going to add fields like, before I add a field, I need to create a table also for exam for subjects. So the way to do this is typing TT, and then I'm going to give this an ID. Let me see the ID I give this. Okay, so I'm going to give this an ID, let's say 99983. Let's say subjects. So within this subject, we are going to have a code, which will obviously be a code. Let's say 20. Let's say 10. Let's say 10. 10 is okay. So we'd also have something called the description of the subject. And this is going to be a text. Let's make it a code also. So we name it the name. So this should be, let's say, as long as 50. So I think this is all we need for the subject. So we can as well set our primary key as code. And we save this. This is all we need. So on the exam registration, we create a field called, we call this field, let's see, code. No, let's say subject. Okay. So say code, then So we can give it a caption of subject. So the one thing we want to do is we want to table relate the subject to the subject table. So we'll say table relate equals subject. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we also want to populate. We want to populate for the description of this subject name. So we can name this name. I think we used length of 50. So we can as well say, let's see what other information could we need. We can say, let's use this for the meantime. So as we keep on going in the video series, we are going to be adding more fields, and if there's need to add more functions, we'll do that. So this is all for the table. So you can remember from the first video we said there are difference between the header and the line, and this is the line information. And the line information, we are just requiring the user to enter the subject code and also the subject name. And there's one more thing we need to do. We said we have different types of exam. So I want to also add a field for exam type. Let's say this is 5. We'll say exam type. So exam type is going to be an enum. So we need to go back to the enum folder and create a new file and say exam types.al. So we say t enum. So we say, let's see, exam type. So we have exam type. So the first value, let's say the first value should be multiple choice. And then we can give it a caption of multiple choice. So we give another value. We'll say this is essay. So we'll create another one. Let's say we just have 3 exam type. We have the oral. So we are done with creating the enum. So let's go and link the enum to the line. So enum is called exam types. So let's see what other thing do we need here. Right. Okay. So we need to also create a table for the header. So let me rename this exam registration so I can indicate this is a line. So I can create another table. I name this exam reg header.al. So the same thing, tt, populate this and say, let's say, we name this, exam header. Let's be sure we name this well. So we change this to exam line and exam header. So that makes sense. We are going to come back to the list part. So let's come back to the header. So what information do we need in the header? the number one thing, we want to make sure we have what we can link together with the line. So I would say a document number, which is NO here, and would also create a T field. So this is going to be exam type. So you can know our exam type is an enum and it's called exam types. Okay, so we also have some personal information we want to get from the user. So let's see, the first one is first name, and this is a code. Let's say 40. So we change the document number to code, which is what we use in the line. So we say document number is 20, I believe. Okay, so we have the first name, we should have the last name, right? We should also have what should we have? Let's say sex. So we have 5, sex, or gender. So gender should be an enum. So we'll go create an enum for the gender. I'm just going to be using two gender. I don't care if there's three genders or fourth gender or lesbian or the rest. I'm just going to use two gender. So I'll say gender dot here. So I'll say gender. So the first gender would be a male. Give it a caption of male. So would also have the same thing, but this time this is one and this is a female. All right, so let's go back to the header and say enum of gender. We also want to have age. Age should be an integer. We have number 6. We have age. Age, that is integer. Right, this is fine. So let's see if we can get other personal English, like registration date, or let's say the phone number, phone number 7, phone number should be let's just make it integer. Let's see, I have to check something. I think there is extended data type. I think there's extended data type for phone. Yeah, for phone number. Yeah, you can use extended type for phone number, and I believe data type of phone number field is Okay, is this code? Okay, so it has to be a code if you want to use this extended data type as a phone number. So we also have the field 8. Let's say reg number, which would automatically generate, let's call it a code. So we'd have, let's say, as long as 20. Let's see. T field. What else you would create? Registration date and exam date. 9. Registration date. Registration date. Exam date. So let's give it a status so we are able to track if this person has done the exam or not. So the field, this is going to be a very lengthy video, but trust me, you don't need to watch any other video to understand the concept of Listpart, of creating a header and a line kind of application in Business Central. So we have status, and status is enum. So we need to create a status. Okay. We have status of TNUM. Can also have 6789. Status. So let's see, what do we have? Status. What status can we give it? Let's give it open. Caption. Open. We also have a caption of closed. Abby? Caption of done. Okay, so status of the status, right? So now let's work on the primary key. The primary key will be the document number and the exam type. So let's say this is the document NO, the document number, and the exam type. So this is what we use to identify the primary key, because we have to have the same number with the line, and also we have to have the same exam type as the line. So we can come to the line and then say this document number, we want to table relate it to the exam header. So we want to table relate it to the exam header dot number. Then the exam type, okay, we do nothing with the exam type, but we make sure document number, line number, and also the exam type is part of the primary key. So this is all we need to do. So we could also put a clause here and say where exam type equals field, which is, when I say exam type, I'm accessing the header exam type and I'm saying is equals to field with this current table exam type. So this is fine. I'm linking the header to the line by using the exam header table and saying I want to link it by the NO, which is the number, and I want to link it where the exam type is equals to this exam type. Okay, so let's go to the list page and let's rename this. Let's say exam list part. Right, so we change this also. Exam line subform. We change this source into, let's see what's the table name, exam line. Also, I want to remove this usage category. I also want to remove this application area. Then I want to start by saying auto split key equals true. I want the application to be able to automatically assign a line number for each line. So I also want to say delay insert equals true. I want it to wait for the header so it can synchronize together. I also want to say, let's see, multiple new lines equals true. I want to also say refresh on active equals true. I also want to say, let's see, so the page type is already Listpart. So I want to say source table view. So for this particular one, I want to view it where exam type equals equal, equals constant. Okay, what are the options we have? I think we have multiple choice. Then I use my semicolon. So I only want to, anytime I'm using this subform, this particular subform, or maybe let me differentiate it. This is exam line subform, and let me give it a caption. Exam multi-choice, right? So I can say exam multi-choice subform. So I'm also going to create this same thing for different. Okay, so let's rename this. Let's rename the first initial one as, let's say, multi-choice. So the next one, let's rename this as, I think we have essay. The last one, let's rename it to oral. Okay, now let's now change this to oral subform. Copy this, paste it here. So the most important thing is we come here to change this exam type to oral exam. So we also come back to the essay and say essay exam subform. Copy this also. So I'm going to paste it here. So the most important thing is I change this exam type also to I think it is essay. Yeah, essay. So now the repeater, the information we need here is just we don't need the user to see the document number. We don't need them to see the exam type. We don't need them to see the line number. So I think we have code. Let me see the table again. Exam line. We have exam type. We have subject. Okay, we have subject and the name. I think that's all we have. So I come back here. I click. I use my mouse. I highlight my mouse here. It brings this suggestion. I click add multiple. I choose subject and I also choose the name. I save this and then I just come to copy this. I paste it for the rest. I also paste it for this. Okay, now we are done with the line and the list part. So we need to create a page, and we need to create a page called let's see, essay exam registration.al. I also have oral exam registration.al. Then we also have multiple choice exam.al. So we use the shortcut TP. So we have a page. So we can give this a number. So for this instance, we are working with multiple. So we have multiple choice. So the table is going to be the header table. So we say exam header, right? So we need to make sure that this is only for registration for multiple choice. So we say source table view. We say equals is where exam type is equals to const multiple choice. So we need to bring the fields in. Let me say this is general. We need the NO. We need the what is it? We need the first name, last name, age, gender, phone number, registration date, registration number, status, and exam date. I think these are the personal informations. Then I click OK. Save this. I make sure I use my semicolon here. And then I copy all this. I copy all this in general. I come to SE. I do the same thing. I only come to change this to SE. Multi-choice exam. essay exam. SM4. So I also say this is essay. So I want to remove this application area hall. And I want to change the usage category to document. I want to copy this. I also want to put it back to the multi-choice exam. I remove this. I'll put this. So I copy this. I use it for oral too. I have oral. Page oral exam. I paste this. I come up here and change this to 5. Oral exam. Oral exam. And that is pretty much it. So we need to also create a list page. Create list page for the 3 oral list page.al page .al. So we have essay list page.al. We also have, after essay, what do we have? We have multi-choice. Okay, so we use TP and we choose the list type. Let's keep this in number. Essay list. So we give it a table, which is the header, exam header. And then we also say we want to link this list to the table. So we'd say card paid ID equals, I think we named this essay exam. So let's go back to the essay exam. We have excess space here. Okay, we use our semicolon and then we make sure we use editable equals false. Okay, let's just say general. So let's start picking. Most likely we're going to be using the same list here. So let's just copy this. and come back here on this page, paste them here. So I can copy all of this. I can also filter and say source table view. I only want to see the list of essay where exam type is equals to essay. This is fine. So I copy this for the rest. I paste it here. I also paste it here. So I come to the oral. I change this to 6 and say this is oral list, oral exam list. And I link the page, the card ID to oral exam. Then I say I want to filter by oral exam. Okay, this is fine. So I come to multi-choice and I give this a 5. Multi-choice list. So I also do the same thing to the card ID, multi-choice exam. And I want to filter by multi-choice. So this is basically it. So the next step, I'm going to be creating a number series. I'm going to be working with number series in the next, and I'm going to make that in the next video. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share this video. And yeah, I'm hoping to see you in the next video. Thank you.